Welcome to this session of phishing attack and how to prevent your data and systems from phishing attacks. I am Jagannathan. Let's first get started with knowing about phishing. What is phishing? To know about phishing, let me take you back to Ramayana days. Okay, let's come to a story from Ramayana. Most of you must be familiar with this story. This story happens in the forest where Sita, Rama and Lakshmana are staying in the forest. Ravana decides to kidnap Sita, but how to do that? It's not possible as long as Rama and Lakshmana are protecting Sita around her. So they decide, along with his uncle Marichan, Ravana decides, he conceives a plot. He decides to take Rama and Lakshmana away from Sita using some techniques so that Ravana can easily kidnap Sita. So that's the plot, that's the theme they have conceived. So how to take Rama and Lakshmana? It's not easy to take Rama and Lakshmana away from Sita. Now here, imagine Sita is your system. So a hacker, Ravana and Maricha, they decide to kidnap, take away your data or take away your malfunction your systems. So that is what is the motive of the hacker. So how to do that? So you have to deceive, you have to conceive a plot of deception to deceive Sita. So what they do, Marichan takes the form of a golden deer, very beautiful deer, immediately attracted by Sita. So that Sita wants the deer for her. So he asks Rama, why don't you go and bring the deer for me? So thereby, Ravana, a hacker, they achieved his objective of taking Rama away by deceiving Sita, by luring, attracting Sita with some story, some attraction, so that Sita gets attracted by that and does something malicious, something wrong for harmful to her, which is sending away Rama. So once Rama is sent away, meaning your protections are gone away from your system, the hacker is easily able to take your data. That's all about phishing. So let's come to the definition of phishing. It's a social engineering attack where an attacker most commonly sends a fraudulent message, mostly through an email. 95% of phishing we have seen happens through email. They send a fraudulent message designed to trick a victim, which is us, trick a victim by giving something attractive in the email and make us to click or do something in the email and collect with an objective of collecting our sensitive information or to inject some malware program into our systems. Generally a ransomware program. Ransomware is a type of malware which will encrypt complete data of your system and the hackers will ask for ransom to be paid so that they can give back the keys to decrypt your system. This is all about the modus operandi of a phishing attack. So as we have seen, most of the phishing attacks happen through email, but there are other medium also through which phishing attacks right now happens. So I hope you have now learned about what is phishing, how does the phishing operate using this most commonly used story in Ramayana. This is what exactly happens in our systems. That happened in the forest, in the human form. Now we are in a digital world. So this phishing attack happens in social engineering form in our systems through emails. That's all the difference. Okay, so we will see about various types of phishing attacks and also how the phishing attack happens, how the hacker manages to collect our data or inject malware into our system in the next module. Thank you. We'll see you in the next module. Welcome to the next session of our course, phishing attacks and how to protect ourselves from phishing attacks. We are now going to see how a phishing attack happens. There are three players in a phishing attack. Typically, in a typical phishing attack, there are three players. One, the attacker. The two, the victim, could be you and me. Three, what the attacker is attacking us for, either for our data stored in our systems or to cripple our systems with the malware. So there are three players in any phishing attack. Let's see diagrammatically. First, how does an attacker manages to complete his phishing act? So he prepares an email and sends an email to a victim. That could be you and me. Now a victim clicks the email. Generally, the phishing emails would cover about a story. Could be something like giving you a gift coupon, or it could be some lottery, or it could be something to do with your job, something to attract you. Like Sita is attracted by the magical deer. So victim clicks the email, they see the email, they get attracted, and generally either an attachment to the email or there is an URL embedded inside the email. Now the victim either opens the attachment or clicks the URL. There are two opportunities here, two possibilities here. Okay. Generally, if it is an attachment, the attacker embeds certain malware into the attachment. So as soon as you open the attachment, the malware gets executed and it injects the malware into your system, thereby it cripples your system. Generally a ransomware, it encrypts all the data in your system. How, you may ask, how can just by clicking an attachment can start a malware injection? It's possible nowadays because almost all types of attachments, all types of files have executables. Even your office files, like a normal innocuous office files like a Word file or Excel file or a PowerPoint like this, they all can have macros embedded into the attachments. So once you open the PowerPoint or a Word or Excel file, the macro can get executed and the macro can put any malware into your system. This is one type of phishing attack. Or the other type of phishing attack, in the email they generally give a link, URL. So you go and click the link, they say that please go and submit your address in the link so that you would be getting a gift coupon. So you go and click the link, that will take you to a fake site, not the original site. It is a site developed by posted by the attacker, a fake site. Once you land into the fake site, whatever the information you submit, that information gets captured. It could be your banking account password, or it could be your Aadhaar number, personal identification number, anything. So it gets captured. So this is how a phishing attack works. Now let's see, I have shown you that most of the phishing attacks happen through email, but nowadays with the spread of social engineering, the phishing attacks, different types of phishing attacks happen through other media also. So what are the different phishing attacks? There is something called spear phishing. Have you seen a spear? How does a spear look like? The spear has a pointed edge. So same way, if the phishing attack is targeted at the general public, it's called a phishing, but if it is targeted at one particular individual, it is called a spear phishing. So it is specifically targeted at you so that it can give a story which will be more attractive to you. So that is called spear phishing. Then there is also a type of attack, phishing attack called a whaling. Whaling is also a targeted attack. It targets at one particular individual. Generally these individuals are C-level executives, CEOs or chairmen, a big leadership team of an organization, because the ransom they can get or the data they can collect would be humongous. The value would be very high. So a spear phishing attack targeted at C-level executives is called whaling. Okay, note, spear phishing, whaling. Then comes wishing, V-I-S-H-I-N-G, wishing is not W-I-S-H-I-N-G. Wishing is nothing but is very common, very rampant today. Even common men gets cheated by this wishing because it doesn't require any electronic media. People make phone calls and then they do a trick through the phone call. Generally, you would have also heard, you would have received calls from purported to be, they claim to be calling from a bank's call center. They tell you your account is supposed to be closed, and if you have to reopen your account, you have to tell your credit card number or your credit card PIN and things like that. They cheat you as if it is coming from an authorized representative call and then collect the data over the phone. So this is called a phishing. There is also another type of attack, because nowadays in the social media, messaging is very popular, either your text message or your WhatsApp message. So sending text messages or WhatsApp messages to a recipient and giving a link URL in the message and asking them to click the URL and go to the URL and collect some data. This is called smishing. SMISHING. So attacker predominantly they execute their plot through sending emails, which is called phishing. If the phishing is sent to a targeted individual, it is called spear phishing. If the targeted individual is a C-level executive, it is called whaling. And if the phishing attack happens through a simple phone call, it is called phishing. And if it happens through a message, text message, it is called smishing. So these are all different types of phishing attack. So next session we will see, we have seen about different types of phishing attack and how a phishing happens. The next most important part is how do we protect our data and systems from these phishing attacks. So that's what is more important. We will see an innovative technique. We will teach you. I'll teach you how do you be careful about phishing attacks. How can you prevent yourself from getting attacked, getting cheated by the phishers. Meet you in the next session. Let's get to the next session of phishing techniques and how to prevent phishing. We mentioned that phishers attack with an objective. What is that objective? We say that the objective is to collect data from you or to cripple your system. So what type of data are they interested in? Naturally, any data which is of any commercial value. So what are the data which a phisher is looking for? It could be your login credentials, meaning your ID and password for your critical accounts like your net banking accounts, or could be email IDs, whatever the email IDs you have of people in your contact list could be of interest to you, commercial value to them. Personal information, your personal sensitive information could be, it gets a lot of value in the market, so that could be of interest to the phishers, or could be contact numbers of your friends and contacts that they can sell it in the market, or your confidential company information, sensitive company information, something like client list of contact numbers for the clients is of very great commercial value for the phishers, or it could be medical records of health information, or could be any financial information, your investments, any financial information of value to them. So these are the data a phisher is interested in. Now the most important part of the session, okay, phishers attack, they collect information. But what do we do? Do we just hold our hands and then see the phishers collecting our data? Definitely not. So how do we prevent? How do we prevent our data to be collected by the phishers? How do we prevent phishing attacks? The one single answer is being very conscious and very aware of phishing, aware of what is phishing, so that we can prevent ourselves getting cheated. So how do we be aware of phishing? So I have worked out a technique. Keeping the technique in mind, you can be very conscious of phishing attacks and then prevent getting attracted, getting your data given to the phishers. What is this technique known as? This technique is known as fabulous technique. Fabulous check for phishing emails or phishing messages. So keep this fabulous in mind always and apply this fabulous whenever you are doubt, whenever you are doubtful of the credentials of the fisher, any email, keep in mind the fabulous technique. So what is the fabulous technique? Each letter stands for a very technique fishers use. So if you are creating your email or message through the fabulous technique, then you can be sure that it is either a phishing message or a genuine message. Okay, first F in fabulous stands for look for the from email ID. So all the fishers, they send it from a spurious email IDs. So naturally they don't get the genuine email IDs. So suppose you receive in this example message, a message is coming to you with Amazon logo, as if it is coming from Amazon, but very carefully see what is the from ID. So the name could be shown as Amazon, the logo could be Amazon logo, but the from email ID would definitely be not Amazon. So be very careful about where is the email ID from which the mail is originated. So like you can call yourself any name, but what is the name registered in your records, in your Aadhaar or in your passport, that's what is your actual name by which you are known. So same way, the email can be made to come from, shown as coming from any name, but what is the email ID from which it has originated, look for that. Okay. Then A in fabulous, what is that? Attachment. See what is the attachment. As I mentioned, there are two ways in which a phishers act. One is by sending a malicious attachment with malware, or by sending an URL to a fake website. So look for an attachment. The attachment is, if it is an unexpected attachment, don't open the attachment. Just by opening the attachment, the malware can get infected in your system. So look for an attachment. If you are doubtful, there is an option to preview. In all the email clients you use, either it is Outlook or any other email client, they will always have an option to preview first. Because when you do preview, the macros don't get executed. So use the option preview if you are doubtful about the attachment. See whether the attachment is what you are looking for, and then decide to open the attachment. Okay, then comes the third one, B, as in bulk email. So generally, as I said, phishing is targeted at multiple people. So it will always be addressed to a group, not personalized address. So your greeting itself would be hello, dear. It will not be personalized to you. So if a mail comes to you, dear, hello, be very careful, be suspicious of such emails. Okay, the next comes U as in fabulous. URL. U stands for URL in our fabulous technique. All the phishing emails are the second type of phishing emails. One is through attachments or through emails. The second type of phishing have an URL embedded inside the email. So normally the URLs will be not as an URL, it will be given in a box. Behind the box, once you click the box, a particular URL will be executed or it will be opened. Okay, so invariably the box will say something else, but the URL will be totally different. The box will say pay here for Amazon. That's what the box will say. But if you go and click that, it will not open Amazon site. It will open a fake site which will look exactly similar to an Amazon site. I'm just taking Amazon as an example. Okay, so it could be anything else as well. So before clicking the boxes or any links in an email, see what is that URL it is opening. URL means it's a website. What is the name of the website it is opening? How do you see that? You can hover your mouse, take your mouse to that location and then keep the mouse, then it will display what is the website it is opening. Or be safer, go to that place, go to that box or URL wording and then right click your mouse and then say copy hyperlink. So once you copy the hyperlink, you open a browser window and then paste the hyperlink by which you will know carefully what is the site it is opening. Okay, the next two letters LO stands for lousy spelling and grammar mistakes. Fishes invariably make spelling and grammar mistakes. Why do we say that? It's a commonly accepted. Why do we say that? Because most of the phishing originates from non-English speaking countries. Don't ask me, will an English country will not have a fisher at all? The converse could be possible, but there is good chances that a phishing email might have a lousy spelling and grammar mistakes. So look at that. Also doesn't mean that a lousy spelling mistake cannot be a genuine mistake. It could be possible that someone who is not good in English might send a genuine mistake. So, but you have to apply your common sense there. Okay. The next one is very important. Unsecure website. U stands for U in fabulous stands for unsecure website. What do I mean by unsecure website? Invariably, but this, unlike the lousy spelling mistake, invariably any fake website which a phisher puts inside your email, if you click that website, it would invariably be HTTP and not HTTPS. So what is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS? HTTPS is a secure encrypted session between your browser and the web server. So it's an encrypted session. To get encrypted, each site has to have a certification. It's something like someone certified the site, it's a genuine site. So phishing fake sites would not get certification. So invariably, when you click any link without you knowing it, it just goes and connects in a HTTP. So if it is an HTTP website and they are asking for some information to be submitted, you can be very sure that it's a fake site. Okay? So don't submit any information if it is a HTTP site. Never submit. Okay? So no valid site, something like a bank or some submissions can ask for a personal information to be submitted and not have HTTPS. It's impossible. Okay. The next, the last one in fabulous stands for story. So all the phishing emails would revolve around a story. It will not be simple mail. Click here. It will not be like a simple email. It would be a carefully constructed story. Say for example, now work from home is the current trend after Corona lockdown. Okay, so employees are working from home. So the phishers use that psychological advantage and then they create a story around that. It is something like CEO wants to address the work from home employees. It will be a very carefully constructed story like what we have seen in Ramayana, like magical deer with silver spots, etc. It will be a very carefully constructed story to attract your attention. Or during the income tax time, now it is a tax filing time. So it would be something like as if coming from income tax department, an announcement about extension of time or about a refund for your last year tax filing or some query clarification for your last year refund application. It would be a particular story around and the entire email would be constructed with that story. So if it is a story, be very careful, think twice whether the story could be a genuine story or is it a constructed story. So this is what is fabulous. Keep always fabulous in mind. So this is a fabulous technique to safeguard your data, safeguard your system from phishers. So thank you for listening to this course on phishing and phishing techniques and protection from phishing. We will meet in another course next time. Thank you.